Hey guys, welcome back to another trade recap. Today I'm going to be recapping how I made roughly $3,000 today. This is my trade today. As you see on screen, it's going to be a simple manipulation following displacement, right, and targeting an obvious strong liquidity. But with that being said, I'm going to hop on TradingView and give you a full breakdown step by step, each candlestick that I took and I read, and I'm going to break it down with you guys and kind of give you all my thought process on what trades were valid and what I was thinking while I was on the charts as well. But as you can see, this is my trade right here, 602 across a total of 5 accounts on Top Step, right? And we're 1 day away from being eligible to request a payout as well, right? So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop on to TradingView, right? And we are at market open, right? So it's going to be 8:30 in the morning. I'm Central, so Eastern time would be 9:30, right? And we're gonna go ahead and give it one candle, right? So market opens. What do? All right, we immediately go higher and end up taking out draws on liquidity, right? ES is not going to be behind. We are immediately taking out draws on liquidity, right? Following that, let's just go ahead and see what the market does, right? So we put in a huge rejection wick. We seem to be rebalanced into this internal range right here, right? Following that, maybe we are going to go lower, but as I trade, I wait until at least 40 of the market. I wait at least until like 8:40 for me, just because that's when the macro opens and it's more permissible and more probable for me to be able to catch a high probable trade, right? Because at the end of the day, all I'm catching is that small piece of the pie, that 30, 40 points, 25 points sometimes, just so I can get my profits and get out, right? So continuing with that, we're probably going to end up taking out this strong liquidity. We do not take out this strong liquidity. We seem to be rejecting. I'm assuming ES probably did end up taking out strong liquidity or something along those lines, but we immediately rejected, right? Order block right here, which is going to be disrespected following shortly, right? Disrespected order block, right? So now that it's going to be 8:35, right? So we have 5 minutes until the macro opens up, meaning some trades are going to be permissible moving forward, right? With that being said, let's go ahead and mark out our draws on liquidity on a higher time frame. For me, I like to use a 15-minute because the 15-minute is like pretty strong draws on liquidity. So we're going to mark this one, right? We have some draws right here, relative equal lows. One thing to keep in mind though is that ES was lacking behind this morning a lot, right? So if we can find ES, where is S&P 500, right? S&P 500 draws on liquidity right here, right? Yeah, so we are already a little bit uncorrelating, right? We have these two SMTs right here, SMT right here, between the pairs, and then this internal SMT as well. But we're gonna keep in mind that there are draws lower, right? And we've also came back up. So if you look at the higher time frame, we came up and we rejected, and we seem to be going lower. And this also seems to be look like we rejected the equilibrium of the range. So let's keep that in mind. Higher time frame seems like it's going to be bearish, right? And there's obvious draws lower, so it helps. So what did the market do following that, right? After that move lower, right, we ended up having some rejection. We took out some obvious draws. Let's go ahead and mark out the range here, the internal range. If we ever come to rebalance, I don't believe we do. All right, so we end up rebalancing at the 0.5, and then immediately off of the 0.5 we reject, right? So it is now going to be 8:38, right? It's 38 into the market open, right? So trades right now are going to be permissible, right? It's just not most probable because, for example, you could take a short like this, right? And then maybe target the most obvious strong liquidity. Why would I say take a short like this? Because we have rebalanced into the internal range right here, immediately rejected and put some displacement in, right? Not to mention, there are draws lower, right? So it's most probable that we're going to go lower. Only thing with this trade is that it's going to be negative RR, and you're going to have a huge stop loss, right? That rejection wick does tell you, like, it's pretty obvious we're going to go lower and take out the draws, though. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that ES is still going to be slacking, and we are just not really delivering as strong as we should be, right? Well, no, sorry. ES already took these draws for now, but, let's see what the market does following this. All right, so we continue going lower. Some rejection there. We put in a nice wick, and then we continue going lower. So with that being said, we have now taken out a 15-minute draw on liquidity, which ES, where is S&P 500? Which ES has not yet taken out, I believe. Right? Okay, ES did take that one out, right? So following that, we have a little bit of rejection there, right? Rejection candle right there. Following that candle, these are like wicks, right? We're putting in wicks. Doji, I believe the macro is now going to be open, right? So it is now going to be 8:43 into market session. We have 17 minutes to find an entry of something we like, correct? So what are we going to do? We're going to keep in mind that we still have this range, right? This is still going to be the overall, big range on a higher time frame, right? we are also going to keep in mind that we do have a 5-minute fair value gap forming right now, right? So, but we also have to keep in mind we have a lower draw too. We also have another 15-minute that we have to take out. So, what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to continue going lower, right? We rebalance into this 1 minute. We rebalance also into PXL right here, right? Previously manipulated lows. So this is going to be PXL, but it doesn't really matter. Not something we have to worry about. And yeah, so thought process going into this, I don't want to short because it would be a continuation trade, and we are so overextended. It would be a trade in premium rather than a trade in discount. So I would just wait until we get some type of rebalance, and then maybe I can look for a short going there. But I do want to be very patient because a reversal could be coming up. Only thing with a reversal is being super patient for double manipulation, as the markets have been manipulating a lot recently. So it's just about being patient, and the patience does pay off. The patience does pay off. So following that, what do? We put in a huge wick right here, right? So quick recap on what's going on at higher time frame. We've officially taken out this 15-minute draw liquidity, which is going to be an SMT with ES as well, right? So we have a 15-minute SMT right here. Draw liquidity taken out as well, all right? What do I want to see off of this, right? Also, I do want to mention that we did have a form of double manipulation right here. Right here was a form of double manipulation because there's a low right here. This is going to be internal low. A low is a move down, then a move up. Okay, we went to low. So we have internal manipulation, and we'll put double manipulation here. Right? What happens after that double manipulation? We end up taking out the other draw, and we also have the SMT. Right? So, following that, what happens? Okay, we seem to be rebalancing into this candle. Let's see if maybe we can get some respect out of this candle. We haven't disrespected this candle wick, but let's see if we get some displacement out of here. Okay, great. We just got some displacement, right? I do want to mention, I trade very discretionally because I also incorporate order flow into my trades. So I saw absorption happening here, but my thought process behind this trade is going to be, okay, wow, we have taken out the 15-minute draw liquidity. We have a 15-minute SMT. We have double manipulation, right? And we rebalance into the wick, and we're now displacing out of it. But only thing I do want to mention is that this wick is super, super big, right? So obviously take it as you will and be patient, but I was like, okay, I expect a reversal off of here, right? So what do I do here? Right, we can disregard this. I mark out the range, right? I mark out the range, right? We have this 0.62 on top of this, wait, TP was right here. We have the 0.62 and also this high literally right on top of each other, right? Seems like a super obvious draw liquidity. What do I think is going to happen? It's going to deliver there, right? And real quickly, we rebalance into the order block. Mark out the order block real quick. Move down, then move up. Order block's going to be smallest of the two candles. Order block. And boom, TP hit in a matter of 2 minutes, right? Just like that, we got 39 points, 30 points stop loss, 1.3 RR, which secures me, $600 per account across my 5x of phase, right? And that puts me, 1 day eligible away from getting a payout. Right? Super simple, guys. It's really just simplifying trading. Really just simplify trading. Don't overthink it. Don't complicate the process. Just react to what the market's doing. What did the market do? The whole time I was watching the market, I was reacting to what it was doing. I wasn't trying to predict it. I wasn't trying to assume that it was going to go somewhere. Rather, I was just reacting and reading it and seeing, what each candle tells me. Because every candle tells you something, and it gives you an idea of what it's going to do following. So, with that being said, it's a super simple trade recap on how I traded today. I was done trading within 22 minutes of market being open. So that's really it. I'm off the charts until tomorrow. Wait for another high probable setup, and we will trade from there. Mind you, I just want to put it out there, right? I could have, let's put it into well, I can't put it into higher. But I could have caught way, way, way more points. I could have waited for double manipulation right here. There was an internal SMT right here as well. But I could have caught like 150 points today, right? But I don't care about that just because I'm getting my small piece of the pie so I can, compound those wins and secure my payouts. Because at the end of the day, it's all about gathering the small compounded wins and, being consistent with your trading. So with that being said, though, guys, y'all have a blessed day. I hope this recap taught y'all something. If y'all have any questions, do let me know. Code CBAS across all the firms, Alpha, Apex, and Tradeify. And then also join my Discord where I do give away free accounts damn near every week. So if y'all have any questions, let me know. But with that being said, thank you for watching, and yeah, thank you.